Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. The NFL offseason is always filled with rumors, speculations, and strategic moves, but this one stands out as potentially being a game-changer for the Steelers and the entire AFC North. Rumor has it that the Kansas City Chiefs are exploring a blockbuster trade involving their star cornerback Trent McDuffie, and the Steelers are seen as a prime destination. Now I know what you're thinking. What does this mean for Pittsburgh? Well, buckle up because this could be one of the most significant defensive upgrades the Steelers have aimed for in recent years. Let's start by understanding the player at the center of this potential deal. Trent McDuffie, the young cornerback from the Chiefs, has quickly established himself as one of the league's premier lockdown corners. Coming out of Washington, McDuffie has impressed with his agility, football IQ, and ability to shut down top receivers. His 2025 season was particularly remarkable, tallying 4 interceptions, 12 pass deflections, and averaging 72 tackles. His coverage grade on PFF was an outstanding 89-1, and he allowed just a 52% completion rate on targets thrown his way. Statistically, he's one of the best in the league. His EPA per target at -0, 22, and a quarterback rating against of just 68.4 according to NFL.com. This kind of production isn't just window dressing, it's the real deal. McDuffie's career total of 8 interceptions, combined with his All-Pro recognition in 2024, makes him a hot commodity. Even in 2025, despite battling a concussion that caused him to miss a couple of games, he still managed to average 5 tackles per game, showing his consistency and willingness to be a physical force in the secondary. He's a player that can be described as a shadow, reminiscent of Revis Island in his prime. Someone who can erase top receivers and make quarterbacks think twice before throwing in his direction. Now, the Chiefs' defense is one of the league's elite, holding opponents to just 16 points per game. But even with that stout defense, there are whispers of concern. Sources suggest that Kansas City sees a potential hole in their secondary, especially given the injury history of some of their players. They're reportedly looking to move McDuffie for a first-round pick and a third-round pick, focusing on acquiring more weapons for their offense, particularly wide receivers, while bolstering their secondary through this trade. It's a gamble, yes, but one that could pay off if they hit on the draft picks. For the Steelers, this trade would be a massive statement of intent. Pittsburgh has been steadily building a competitive roster, and bringing in a player like McDuffie would elevate the entire secondary. Think about it side by side with Porter Jr., who graded out at an impressive 82.3 on PFF. The Steelers' pass defense could become a nightmare for opposing offenses, drastically reducing passing yards allowed and increasing their number of pass deflections. Right now, the Steelers are allowing roughly 220 yards per game through the air. With McDuffie in the fold, that number could drop to around 180 yards, a significant improvement that would make opposing quarterbacks think twice before throwing deep. His ability to cover in the slot as well, with a coverage grade of 90%, adds versatility that Pittsburgh can use in multiple defensive schemes. Injuries have been a concern, especially with issues like Pepper's illness, but having a player like McDuffie who can excel both outside and in the slot gives the Steelers an invaluable weapon. This isn't just about one player, though. It's about what he represents for Pittsburgh's future. The Steelers have been known for their tough, physical defenses and intelligent secondary play, and McDuffie embodies that ethos. His addition would be similar to what the Patriots did in 2019 when they acquired Stephon Gilmore, a move that significantly boosted their pass defense and helped them reach the Super Bowl. Pittsburgh could be looking at a similar trajectory, with McDuffie serving as a cornerstone for their defense for years to come. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could also influence the Steelers' chances of climbing up the odds to win the Super Bowl. Currently, Pittsburgh's Super Bowl odds are somewhere around plus 2,000. But if they pull off a trade for McDuffie and the secondary gets a boost, those odds could shorten considerably, potentially moving to plus 850 or even better. That's a massive jump, and it reflects the confidence that adding a player of McDuffie's caliber would inspire within the team and fans alike. It would make Pittsburgh a more formidable opponent against the aerial assaults of AFC rivals like the Bills or the Bengals, and it could even give them a shot at pulling off an upset in the playoffs. Now, some might wonder about the risks involved. Kansas City has a reputation for being a well-run organization, but rebuilding a secondary can be tricky, especially when relying on draft picks. The Chiefs are in a bit of a rebuild mode, and losing McDuffie could create a gap that might be exploited by their division rivals, especially those with potent passing attacks. However, for the Steelers, this trade could be the missing piece that turns their defense into one of the league's top units, allowing them to compete more confidently against the best quarterbacks in the AFC. And let's not forget about the impact on division rivalries. If Pittsburgh manages to land McDuffie, it's not just about improving their roster. It's about sending a message to the rest of the AFC North that they're serious about contending. Baltimore and Cincinnati will have to prepare for a secondary that can lock down receivers and challenge their passing games consistently. It shifts the balance of power, especially if the Steelers can integrate McDuffie into their defensive schemes quickly and effectively. The trade talk is still just speculation at this point, but the signs point to a possible blockbuster deal looming on the horizon. For Steelers fans, this is an exciting prospect, adding a young, elite cornerback who already proved he can play at a high level in the NFL. It's the kind of move that can accelerate Pittsburgh's rebuild and make them a true contender in the AFC once again. The defense would look different, more aggressive, more disciplined, and more capable of taking the ball away from opponents. That's the Steelers' identity, after all, tough, relentless, and always ready to rise to the occasion. In summary, the potential acquisition of Trent McDuffie by the Steelers is a move that could reshape their future. It's about more than just one player. It's about elevating the entire defense, setting a tone for the season, and making a statement to the league that Pittsburgh isn't here to play small ball anymore. With McDuffie's talent, combined with the existing core, the Steelers could become one of the most feared defenses in the AFC. And if the rumors are true, this trade could be the spark that ignites their Super Bowl aspirations once again. It's a thrilling time to be a Steelers fan, and we'll be watching closely to see if this story develops into reality. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, if the Steelers do manage to pull off this trade, it could set off a chain reaction across the league. Other teams will take notice, and the AFC North could see a shakeup that might change the division's balance of power for years to come. Pittsburgh has been a team on the rise, and adding a player like McDuffie would send a clear message that they're ready to compete at the highest level. The front office has shown patience and smart decision-making, and this move might be the final piece they need to be legitimate Super Bowl contenders again. Fans can also look forward to how this impacts the draft and free agency plans. With McDuffie in the fold, the Steelers might prioritize building around their secondary, focusing on pass rushers or linebackers who can complement the young corner. It's all about creating a balanced, aggressive defense that can suffocate opposing offenses. And if Pittsburgh's defense can consistently generate turnovers and pressure quarterbacks, their chances of making a deep playoff run skyrocket. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, and the NFL offseason always brings surprises. But one thing is certain. If this trade materializes, it will be a pivotal moment for the Steelers franchise. It's the kind of move that could define a new era of Steelers football, one that combines their traditional toughness with modern, elite defensive talent. And for fans, it means hope. Hope that the team is building something special, something that could finally bring another Super Bowl trophy back to Pittsburgh. So stay tuned, Steelers Nation. Keep your eyes on the news, your ears open for updates, and your hearts full of hope. Because if this deal goes through, we're looking at a Pittsburgh Steelers team that's about to take a huge leap forward. And trust me, it's going to be a wild ride. The AFC North will be watching, the league will be paying attention, and Pittsburgh will be ready to make its mark once again. We're all in this together, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for our beloved Steelers. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news.